Howdy ho YouTube, Major Cord here, and this is going to be a hopefully very quick overview of the Victorinox Camper. Now, I purchased this as a birthday gift for my best friend, which is why I haven't actually used it, because, you know, it's kind of douchey to use birthday gifts, you know. But I do want to put out a little video overview of this knife before I send it his way, and maybe possibly compare it to my Victorinox Sportsman here, because they are different size knives, and they offer a different tool selection. So, get down to business quickly. As with all Victorinox knives, you have the pen blade, which on this one is horrendously shiny. My Sportsman has dulled out and scratched a bit, giving it a bit of a stone-washed appearance. Actually, no, they're about the same. I lied. Now there's two of me. It's kind of funny. But as you can see, the Sportsman is the smaller variety. I'm not sure the length in millimeters, but this Camper is the slightly larger size, which would make sense since this is more of an outdoor utility knife, and this is what I'd qualify as the I don't know, just the general EDC variety. I think this is like 82 or 83 millimeters, and this is somewhere in the 90s. But this knife is certainly enough to get the job done. I'm actually quite comfortable carrying just the Sportsman, but I'd be more than comfortable carrying anything from this size variety. It'll be more than enough to get any reasonable EDC or even outdoor task done, and the back spring is very strong. There's a good snap to it. But this knife I find very interesting because it proves that you can essentially find any tool selection in a Victorinox knife. When I asked my friend what he wanted for his birthday, he said, well, I don't have any Swiss Army knives yet, because I'm the one who essentially got him hooked on knives, and he does not have a Swiss Army knife. I know this because I didn't buy one for him. But I asked him what type of tools he wanted, and he outlined, he said he wanted a corkscrew, he wanted some screwdrivers, and he wanted a saw. And I'm thinking, like, what knives, does Victorinox or even Wenger make that would have these things? And his rationale for a corkscrew is the same as mine. I mean, we're college students, you never know when you could run into an errant wine bottle. And the screwdrivers, those make sense, and he also said he wanted one of those belt loop thingies, so an awl, which on this Camper is in the same place as the Sportsman. It's on the back next to the corkscrew. But I asked him, why the hell would you want a saw? And his rationale behind this is because he, if this were to have scissors or something like that, he's always close to scissors. There's scissors in his dorm room, and he could put scissors in his backpack if he wanted. But he's not going to carry a saw with him. So with this, he gets to carry a saw. And I have no idea when he's ever going to need one, but in his mind, now he can have one. So I guess that makes sense. And this saw, I'm no expert in wood saws or camp saws or anything like that, because I'm just not an avid camper or user of such tools. But this saw seems to be pretty good. I mean, the teeth on it are, if my camera will focus, sharp and well spaced, and the saw itself is not too flexible, but it will probably flex enough to get through wood. And it's about the same length as the knife blade, so you have 3 inches and some change. So you're not going to saw through a big limb, but you can work on it in segments. And that should be enough to get the job done. But like the knife blade, it has a very good snap to it. So it's not closing on you. Like, listen to that snap as it closes. This is very impressive. I love that. This tool is it's obviously very fresh, but it has a very good snap. My Sportsman never actually had some of those snaps from the factory. Like, the screwdriver on this was always very wimpy, as opposed to the screwdriver on this, which not only has a half stop, but also a very good snap. So yes, this is a half stop if you need it, but also snaps open very well. But yeah, normal screwdriver, bottle opener, wire stripper. And of course your can opener, your smaller flathead, and your, I mean, I guess you could also call this a cap lifter, but I've never attempted to use it as one. So, I think I've covered all the tools, right? Oh no, you also have a smaller pen blade, which I generally shy away from any type of, you know, Swiss type tool, Swiss Army knife, that has a double pen blade like this as I stab myself. Just because I don't see the need for it. I just, you know, if I have one blade, I'm not going to need two. I'd rather it be replaced with a more useful tool, such as a nail file. But in this case, with the, you know, necessary requirements of a saw, I couldn't exactly find one that had that. So I chose to go with the larger function requirement over something like a nail file, which, you know, if he wants that, he can pick up a classic and put it on his keychain. So he'll have to live with the smaller blade. But I'm sure that he will find this useful because I've seen how he sharpens knives, and having one that's always good and sharp will come in handy. I think maybe for Christmas I'll pick him up a knife sharpener, because I know his current system is just a cheap ceramic and carbide pull-through sharpener, which gets the job done, but you know how carbide just tears up your blades. So it is what it is. It'll get a decent edge on a knife for a while, but it just destroys them. But then again, he's not a knife addict like I am. He likes them, but he doesn't understand the whole, you know, the geometry of knife blades and edges and all that stuff. So you got to really be passionate about it to want to learn the basics of sharpening, or even the more in-depth things of sharpening. So maybe a simple system like that is good. You know, it just depends on the person. Then again, I guess it's okay for me to sharpen all his knives, but we go to school several hours apart, so, you know, it is what it is. But is there anything I've forgotten to mention on this? Obviously, you have your tweezers and your toothpick, but that's the same on most Victorinox. One thing I do want to mention is the scales. This has a traditional, wish I could talk today, Celador scales. You can see they're very shiny. And these are matte. I'm not exactly sure why. This may be a newer generation for some reason. This is called the Sportsman 2. I'm assuming the 2 has something to do with maybe an upgraded version of the scales. These were always like a matte finish. It's not like they've been rubbed down or anything. As you can see, hopefully, like they have a matte finish texturing to them. So that's different. I do actually like these, as opposed to something like this, which, although it's more traditional, it'll scratch easily, just from pocket wear. And although that's to be expected, and it's just part of owning a Swiss Army knife, I think it looks kind of shitty after a while. So, I mean, this I've had for over a year, and it's been used and abused, as you can tell by the fact that the Victorinox logo is coming off, and you really can't tell on the scales all the love that's seen. But, you know, just a slight variation in them. But before this gets too long, I'm going to clean off my fingerprint smudges from the blade, wrap it back up, and package it with his other gift, which is a handy little keychain flashlight, and of course a birthday card. But yes, so thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this. I should be coming out with some more videos soon. You know, just taking some time to enjoy summer, enjoy life, and work my ass off. So, yes, thank you for watching, and take care.